All right, so let's jump right in. So the cross product, and that's this part right here. All right, so the cross product given two non-zero vectors, we'll call this one A, which has the it has the terms A1, A2, and A3, and then the vector B, which has terms B1, B2, and B3. It is very useful to be able to find a non-zero vector C that is perpendicular to both A and B, as we will see in the next section and in future chapters. So if C is equal to C1, C2, and C3, and let's say this is such a vector that is perpendicular to both A and B, then A dot, so the dot product, has to equal to 0, A dot C, and in B dot C has to equal to 0, i.e. the dot product is 0 for perpendicular vectors, as in my earlier video on the dot products. Make sure to watch that one over there. So it has to equal to 0. And so what we have is, what we must have is the dot product. Let's go over the first one. So A vector dot C vector is equal to, well, let's write these, expand these out just because it's the beginning of the video, and then after we could skip a lot of the steps. So this is just going to be A1, A2, A3 dot, and write these in this bracket form for vectors, and this is C1, C2, C3, like that. And this equals to, well, each term. So we write the first term, A1 times C1, then it's going to be plus this term multiplied by this, and then this one multiplied by that. So it's going to be A1, C1 plus A2, C2 plus A3, C3. Now this has to equal to 0 if C is perpendicular to A. So we have that, and then likewise, similarly, the next one's going to be B, like that, B dot C vector. So this equals to, we could write it out like that, but it's going to be the same thing. So we're just going to write this B1, C1, plus B2, C2 plus, this next one's going to be B3, C3. This has to equal to 0. So I'm just going to box these two formulas in, because this is what we are going to work with. So we're going to have to work with this and then eventually find the C1, C2, and C3 terms for the C vector, given this formula over there, these two formulas. All right, so let's continue further. So to eliminate the C3 there, what we can do, erase this dot, we can, to eliminate C3, we multiply the first equation right here by B3, and then the second one by A3. So then we'll have, and then we'll subtract. And when we do that, when you multiply B3 here, this A3, these ones are the same. So you could cancel these out when you subtract. So let's just do that with these equations. So what we get is, the first one's going to be, well, we're multiplying it by B3. So I'm going to put these in order. So if I have A1 there, then B is before C. So we'll write A1, B3, C1. So we have the same pattern we'll use throughout. And then A2, B3, and then C2. And then the next one's going to be A3, B3, C3. And this equals to, well, 0. Because you multiply this one also by B3. B3 times 0 is still going to be 0. So just multiply there. And then the next one is going to be, and we're going to be subtracting this whole thing from, well, this one here, multiply this out here. And then we're going to subtract it all. I'm going to write it like that so that put it all together. So the next one's going to be, the next one is here, B1, C1, but then we're multiplying that by A3. So we'll have A3 and then B1, C1, and then plus, let's remove this minus sign there because we will subtract like that from everything. And then it's going to be A3, and then B2, C2, and then plus, this is going to be A3, B3, C3 equals to 0. And then when we subtract everything here, we're going to, well, cancel these two out. And yes, we'll have that canceled out. And what we also have is, well, we have a C2, C2, and a C1, C1. We could factor those out. And this one we subtract 0 from 0 is just going to be 0. So we're going to have this equals 2, and I'll put this one on top there. Write it like this. A1, B3, and then because we're going to be factoring out the C1, subtracted by A3, B1. A3, B1, and this is going to be C1. And then the next one, similar with this C2 now. Because we're subtracting here, these ones all become negative at the bottom. So now this becomes and then this is going to be plus A2, B3 minus, because we're subtracting everything, A3, B2. So notice we just switched these around. Notice there's an A1, this one's B1 at the bottom there, then B3, A3, so the 1s and 3 switches. This one 2, 3 becomes 3, 2. So we have this, and then this is factored out to C2, and the C3s are cancelled. This equals to 0. All right, so we have this equation. I'm going to box this in like that. All right, so let's continue further. So the equation above has the form P, we'll call this P times C1 plus Q, there's this one in the bracket, is Q, times C2 equals 0, for which an obvious solution is, and let's just write this down so it's easier to solve this. So PC1 plus, and if we write QC2, if this equals to 0, then well, we have to cancel this out, and one way is if the C1 is equal to Q, like that, and then if this C2 is equal to negative P, then we're just gonna have PQ minus PQ. Yeah, so this will cancel, equals to 0. So yeah, in other words, what we'll get is, let's put this like this. Yeah, like this. This becomes just PQ minus, well, PQ equals to 0. So that is a solution. So that means that C1 is equal to Q. And in our case, Q is this right here, A2B3 minus A3B2. So this equals to A2B3, let's remove the bracket, A2B3 minus A3B2. So that is, this one is our C1. And then likewise our C2 is going to equal to negative P, so equals negative P, like this. And negative P is just, well, we know that that's just going to be, this is P, but we have to put the negative of it. So this equals 2, here, let's put this negative, and then this is going to be P, so this is P there, A1, B3 minus A3, B1, so you can put the negative there, or equals 2, just put, remove the negative, multiply it inside, move this positive in front. So A3, B1 minus A1, B3. And you could tell the negative sign, this one here, a good way to remember this is that notice there's an A2, then then A3, but this one starts with an A3, A1. So in other words, we go from smaller A to bigger. This one we go bigger A to smaller when there's that negative. And this will come in handy throughout this video. All right, put the 3 like that, and box this in. All right, and now that we have these two formulas for C1 and C2, so substituting these values into either of the original equations, we then get, and these are the original equations, if we put in C1 and C2 in either one of these, we could solve for C3. Yeah, so let's look at the first equation and plug in our C1 and C2 inside. So what we get is, let's see that again, so A1, C1, and then A2, C2, and A3, C3. So we'll write A1, so A1, and then A1, and then C1. C1 is this part right there. Put A2, B3 minus, or actually, let's just write it out for completeness so we don't have to try to remember it. So A1, C1 plus A2, C2 plus A3, C3 equals to 0. So then what we'll get is A1 is going to equal to A2, B3 minus A3, B2, and then plus A2, and then we'll plug in our C2, which is this A3, B1. A3, B1 minus A1, B3, and then plus A3, C3 equals to 0. Alright, so now let's just do some expansion here. So then what we get is, put this like this. This becomes A1, A2, B3 minus A1, A3, B2, and then plus A2, A3, B1 minus, put the A2 inside after the A1, A2, B3, then plus A3, C3 equals to 0. So let's see if we could cancel some stuff out. Well, we have A1, A2, B3, and A1, A2, B3. This cancels. So we canceled those, and now we could see here every single remaining term has an A3 there. So that means we can, well, divide out everything by A3. In other words, we could just cancel the A3, cancel the A3, cancel the A3. So we could divide that whole thing out by A3. So we get now is, well, this becomes, and let's just write what we have, and I'll put this one, I'll put that one in front. So minus A1 B2 plus, and then this plus is A2 B1, and then plus C3 equals 0. So in other words, now we just move these over to the other side. In other words, these just switch signs. So what we get is, lastly, so we switch signs. This becomes C3 is equal to A1 becomes positive, B2, then minus A2, B1. Like that. Fascinating stuff. All right, so this means that a vector perpendicular to both A and B is our C vector. C, and then this one is, write these in terms of the triangle brackets, C1, C2, and C3, and we know each one of these terms. C1 is equal to A2, B3 minus A3, B2. It becomes A2, B3 minus A3, B2. And then the next one's going to be, well, this minus sign there. And that kind of flips the order around. So instead of A1, we'll go with A3. A3, B1, and then A1, B3. So notice there's a pattern that's arising. A3, B1 minus A1, B3. Yeah, and then the last one is a C3. That's going to be this A1, B2 minus A2, B1, close bracket. And the resulting vector is called the cross product of A and B, and is denoted by A, and then this X-like character called cross. So A cross B. And that brings us to this definition of the cross product. So if A is equal to, is a vector with the terms A1, A2, A3, and B has terms B1, B2, B3, then the cross product of A and B is the vector. Yeah, the vector, let's write this down. A vector cross B, so this is the cross product of A and B. This equals 2, and that just equals to this whole term over there. So A2, B3 minus A3, B2. And then the next one is going to be, well, A3, B1 minus A1, B3, and then goes back to now starting with the lower number A1, then A2. A1, B2 minus A2, B1. Like that. All right, let's go over some more notes. So notice that the cross product A cross B of two vectors A and B, unlike the dot product, is a vector. For this reason, it is also called the vector product. And also note that A cross B is defined only when A and B are three-dimensional vectors, which is interesting. Note there. All right, and now let's go over a brief historical note. This is on Sir William Rowan Hamilton. Yeah, so the cross product was invented by the Irish mathematician Sir William Rowan Hamilton, born either 3rd or 4th August 1805, and died September 2nd, 1865, who had created a precursor of vectors called quaternions. When he was 5 years old, Hamilton could read Latin, Greek, and Hebrew. At the age 8, he added French and Italian, and when he was 10, he could read Arabic and Sanskrit. Sanskrit, which is some pretty ingenious fellow here. At the age of 21, while still an undergraduate at Trinity College in Dublin, Hamilton, and here it's at Ireland. So Dublin is in Ireland. So at Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, Hamilton was appointed professor of astronomy at the University and Royal Astronomer of Ireland. Epic stuff here.